It's October and this is the Library Roadshow. On the show today, music, makers, monsters, and more. Welcome to the October edition of the Library Roadshow. I'm Mary Stein, and this is a production of your East Baton Rouge Parish Library System. This month's headliner program is the Baton Rouge Maker Faire. More about that later. The book festival on Saturday, November 1st takes place downtown, but we're not waiting till the book festival to bring you authors. The Advocates Louisiana-inspired book club focuses on a timeless classic, Chef Paul Prudhomme's Louisiana Kitchen. Local author Beth Townsend reminds us that there's more than one F word. Jennifer Moorhead premieres Poisonwood, and Dr. Yolanda Burnett Langford introduces her new book, Eve of the Light. And keeping it creepy, Movies on the Plaza presents Nightmare Before Christmas on Friday, October 24th. And we've also planned a program with master naturalist Jessica McDaniel when she focuses on lethal ladies, fierce females of Louisiana wildlife. The Small Business Engine series returns with part 4, Budgeting for Growth. But remember that previous presentations have been professionally recorded for your convenience and are archived on the library's YouTube channel. The library's partnering with LPB Public Television to bring you Talk About a Revolution on Saturday, October 25th. We have planned a full day of events, screenings, workshops, including a sneak peek of Ken Burns' new documentary series, The American Revolution. The Sons of the American Revolution, tea tasting, miniature tabletop gaming, period dancing, and more is in store. Short talks include Eddie Vaughn on 250 years ago, October 1775, and Steve Kubicek will speak on George Washington's mysterious invisible hand. And speaking of democracy, library presentations sharing Thrive information continue all over the parish, weekday, weekend, day and night. And the library's website has all the details, including FAQs, a basic summary, and all our financials. Find out more in this month's edition of The Source, available in print and online at ebrpl.com.
Free access to books, audio, and library resources are just a few of the benefits available to you when you get a library card. Need free access to a computer? You get that. Want free access to premium digital resources like Mango Languages and lynda.com? You get that. Need to book a meeting space? You get that. Heck, you can even check out a telescope or use a digital printer with your library card. If you live in East Baton Rouge Parish, pick up your free library card from your local branch library today. Premium access to everything the library system has to offer is waiting for you.
In addition to showcasing local authors and illustrators, we've been supporting creators and makers of all types for years. Focusing on our rich musical landscape is the library's most recent initiative, designed to provide discovery and access to new artists, as well as preserve our local culture. It's time to find out more in the digital download.
Red Stick Rhythms is an East Baton Rouge Parish Library digital resource dedicated exclusively to streaming music by local artists. Red Stick Rhythms offers a curated, commercial-free library of albums created by local musicians. Listeners can sample music that they might never hear on the radio or come across through their personal streaming platforms. One of the primary goals is to have wide representation, to attract musicians from all over the parish, and to provide access to as many types and genres of music as possible. On the site you'll find rock, country, jazz, classical, rap, hip-hop and more. Each year we open a limited number of spots to add new artists to the collection. Artists submit their work and our community curators select the new additions. In addition to its streaming audio content, the Red Stick Rhythms site includes a page dedicated to local concert posters. High-quality images showcase a vibrant artistic history, advertising decades of local musical events. The public are invited to contribute posters to be digitized and added to the collection. You can listen now at redstickrhythms.org, no library card required. If you need more streaming music, be sure to check out Freegal in the digital library at ebrpl.com.
In addition to this new platform, the library is hosting several live performances each month that feature our Red Stick Rhythms artists. On Sunday, October 5th, we'll hear Tyron and Eli 500, and on October 26th, we'll mix it up with Tilla and Deuce of Gears. But wait, there's more. This October, we'll also host the Civic Orchestra of Baton Rouge, the Bayou Saxophone Ensemble of Baton Rouge, Boktoberfest, and a string spooktacular. Find out more in this month's issue of The Source. Let's shift gears now and go beyond the stacks.
Hi, I'm Andrea Davis Pinkney. I am the New York Times bestselling and USA Today award-winning author of, I think, 50 books for children and young adults. We are at the East Baton Rouge Parish Library today to meet your patrons, to share our work, to tell some stories, and to listen and learn from all of you. I come from a family of storytellers. So when I was a kid, if you came to the table for dinner, you better be ready to tell a story. And then I realized when I went to my library, there were books with stories in them, and there were names on the covers of those books, and those were the names of the authors. Those were the people who wrote those stories. And I thought, if I could put some of these stories from the dinner table onto paper and into a book, maybe my name could be on one of those books. There's nothing better than knowing that a story that you've written has touched a child. And when I'm writing anything, really, I am thinking, maybe I can reach out a hand. Maybe I can invite a child into an experience. It's almost like opening a door. You know, I want to say, come, little one, this one's for you. I have to say, being at the East Baton Rouge Parish Library, the facilities, the patrons, the librarians, the families, the kids, it is truly a vibrant oasis. Just we've loved being here, seeing all the resources, everything that's been developed, the other authors that have come before us, really just a beautiful place to be, and there's just so much here to discover, learn, and enjoy.
My name is Brian Pinkney. I'm a children's book illustrator and author. My wife and I are doing presentations, and we love sharing our creative process, where we get ideas from, and just to excite readers in terms of the creative process of creating children's books. I decided to become a children's book illustrator, originally because I was following in my dad's footsteps. My father's Jerry Pinkney. He's illustrated over 100 children's books. So when I was a little kid, I would watch him draw in his studio. I'd come home from school and talk about my day at school, and he would always be working. And then he would actually use me and my siblings for models for the characters in his books. So it really was about drawing, making pictures, and telling stories. What's interesting is I'm a visual learner. And as a visual learner, I always went to the library and would pick up books by the pictures. And I would just look at the pictures. And the reading came later. Now, drawing is also how I think. So when I was in school learning and I was supposed to be working on whatever the teacher was telling us about, I was always drawing. So for me, processing information in drawing is very natural. I think my inner child is my muse. It's definitely the age of around 4 to 8 that I'm always exploring with my artwork. And I think that was an age where I discovered my creativity. So that always has inspired how I draw pictures, how I tell stories, and the age that I'm reaching. What's great about this library is it's so welcoming, you know, and it's so huge, and it has so many different components. And I love the fact that no matter what age you are, you can come here and learn something. If it's a child and you're learning how to read, or if you're an adult and you want to learn a new skill.
What fantastic authors and illustrators we've welcomed over the past 48 years. The list of presenters reads like an A-list of who's who in the children's literature world. And I really love the way that we're sharing these authors with the children and educational professionals throughout our community, with the special virtual classroom presentations, family night, and then the workshop for teachers and librarians. Thanks to our friends group, the patrons of the public library, for helping to make this possible for all these years and for many more years to come. Stay right there. After the break, Brandon Riley joins me for a chat about the 2025 Maker Faire right here on the Library Roadshow.
The East Baton Rouge Parish Library believes that making things is good for us all. That's why we have maker spaces at 4 locations and a 3D printing service at the main library. The maker spaces have a variety of tools and equipment to enable both creative and practical projects. This includes 3D printers, sewing machines, audio-visual gear, and much more. Get a library card. Get free access to makerspaces at ebrpl.com/makerspaces.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
You're watching the October edition of the Library Roadshow, everything you need to know about your local library system. Now, each fall, once we've closed the book on the annual Author Illustrator Series, the library pulls out all the stops for the Baton Rouge Maker Faire, now in its 12th year. Okay, Brandon, what is on the marquee for this year's Maker Faire?
Well, this year's theme is lights, camera, action. It's all about making movies at the Maker Faire this year. We have lots of different things lined up. We have Clay Ache is going to do a Foley demonstration with a Buster Keaton movie. They're going to have...
And that's the sound effects that sweeten the film.
Absolutely. So they do live sound effects in sync with the film.
It's fascinating how they make these noises.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's an art. We're also going to have tons of stunt performances, including performances by Michael Papajohn, who is a local stuntman who is very well known in the industry. If you come out and see, you'll know exactly who he is as soon as you see him.
Well, that's something that Baton Rouge really needs to be aware of, that the film industry is alive and well in Louisiana, and Baton Rouge is a player. Mm-hmm. And so this really helps with our economic landscape, thinking about the film industry and how we can support them. Absolutely.
And by saying he's a local guy, he actually used to play on LSU's baseball team, hint, hint.
Okay.
For those, if you want to try to figure out who it is from that prompt.
I love that.
Yes.
What else will go on? There, of course, there'll be makers of all kinds.
Absolutely. Another thing that we're doing is we're having a writer's room simulation with a local script writer, Stephen Pelchier. And what he's going to do is take people through their script ideas, through their character ideas and their scene ideas, and help them kind of sort it out and develop it further. We also have a production company that's coming in, Quick Flip Media.
Okay.
And they will teach people basically how to make their own video from idea all the way to the end of the production. So participants by the end of the day will be able to leave with a finished product.
And this video or film doesn't have to be a fictional entertainment film. It could be generational oral history, capturing your family story, something that you're bringing to your high school reunion, or something that you're doing for work. Podcasting is huge, and all these skills transfer, don't they?
Yes, and they all reinforce one another.
Okay. So who should come? Just people who care about film?
No, everyone should come. Look, we're going to have... Obviously, we're going to have Bruff here, we're going to have the Film Commission, we're going to have panels and discussions, but we're also going to have lots of fun activities, 3D printing. We just arranged for LSU's Glassell Gallery to be here and do scanning of family memorabilia.
That's so cool.
So everybody,
so
young and
all
old.
ages.
Yeah, we're going to have face painting and other activities. It's just a great fun time.
And free, of course.
Free.
Okay, so how do people find out more?
Well, you can go to our calendar where we have signups for individual activities at ebrpl.com. But if you want to look at all the makers that are going to be there and kind of read up about them, you can go to batonrouge.makerfaire.com, and that is our mini site for Maker Faire.
And that's mentioned on the cover of this month's newsletter. So if you can't remember it, there it is.
There it is, right there on the front.
Okay, well, thank you, Brandon. This month's source also includes a digital deep dive into filmmaking, highlighting just a few of the resources available that help prospective filmmakers learn their craft. After the break, author Merlonda Webb. Stay with us.
Supporting the education of students is good for us all. That's why we provide access to live online tutoring through Homework Louisiana. Get a library card. Get free education at ebrpl.com/homeworkhelp.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzz and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So, yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Welcome back to the October edition of the Library Roadshow. Merlonda Webb is a children's author. She pens her work under the name Merlonda Janelle, and she's joining me now by phone to discuss her book called I Am Best as Me. Merlonda, introduce yourself and tell us how you got started as an author.
My author name is Merlonda Janelle, and my time spent to become an author started when I was in middle school and I developed a love of reading. It was one summer that my mom challenged me to read about 12 or 13 books, and the end of the summer was coming and I had not read any of the books. So at that point, I developed a love of reading, and at any chance that I would get, I would read everything that I could get my hands on. I can remember days going to the library looking up books by Beverly Cleary, Judy Blume, and all those books were so detailed and animated, and it just took me to a place that it didn't matter where I was, I could get away. So I loved reading. Now, for my author journey, I've always felt, because I have 4 nephews, that there were a lot of representation of animals, sports heroes, or there were action figures, but or superstars, but there were never any males just learning. And male reading was so uncommon to where my thought was, let me give my nephews something that they can read, that they can recognize, and that they can relate to. Because if you can relate to anything, I feel like it piques your interest just a little bit more. So for me, I wanted them to see not only something that represents themselves, but I also wanted their names to be seen. Because with a name like Merlonda Janelle, you just don't really see that name in a book. So that was very important to me.
What is this book about?
So my first book is entitled I'm Best as Me, and I'm actually going to turn it into a series, and it's a series entitled Playing with Angels. I call my nephews my angels. And in the series, I want to teach them life lessons through sports. So the first book, he tells the story of Eddie, and he learns that it's best to just be himself instead of copying others. So he learns this through the game of soccer.
What inspired you to write the book?
Again, my nephews. I want them to be better than I am. I want them to know more than I know. And I want them to be stronger and empowered to do more than what I have done. And I feel like if they can get these life lessons at a young age, they can grow strong in knowing them. So learning to just be themselves in a world where everything is so copied, or everyone wants to be like someone else, or as they say, everybody wants to be like Mike, they can learn that being themselves is just way more important than copying off of someone else.
What do you hope our young readers will take away from the book?
I hope that they take away that you can do anything that you put your mind to. You can be anybody that you set out to be, and that we all go through things. We all learn. We all are around other people that will possibly teach you something, and you learn it from them, and it makes you a better person. It makes you a stronger person, or it just gives you a different perspective. And I hope that they just learn that reading is fun. And I hope that they learn that if I can do it, someone who's born and raised in Baton Rouge, you can do it as well. So I hope that reading this book makes them empowered.
How can our viewers learn more about you?
I am available on my website. It is www.wordsinweb, and that's all spelled out, WORDSINWEBB.com. I am on Instagram _WordsinWeb, or I am on Facebook at Words in Web. So either way, you can reach me on any of those 3 platforms. And thanks again for your time and your attention.
Thanks, Merlonda. Now let's totally switch gears and see what's under the hood at the 9th Annual Capital City Car Show.
My name is Isaiah Christopher. I'm the host of the Capital City Car Show. This is the 9th Annual Car Show. The car show is powered by Project 70805. It's a nonprofit that focuses on education, community empowerment in North Baton Rouge, and just giving back, you know. The Capital City Car Show is a fundraiser that funds the different things we do, like the leap testing, practice for kids, turkey drives, just any type of community give back that goes on in North Baton Rouge and surrounding areas. I've been knowing the coordinator, Jason Hughes, for like 7 years now. Big in the community, very resourceful, big help, empowers me a lot, shows me the right way to do things. Very good, great person. So this is the first time at the Goodwood Library. Everything has been smooth, effective. As you can see, when you look around, they've been a big help to us so far. I'm just ready to see the cars, man. I'm excited. I like this setup. It's very different. We actually have a stage for the DJ and the band. It's a live band this year, so it's very exciting. I've seen some classic American muscle car classics. I've seen a few newer models of the Corvettes, a few classic trucks. You see a little of everything every year at the car show. We have some good categories. We do best sound, best modern, best Mopar, best Chevy, best Ford. The thing about muscle cars that get people out, especially in the Baton Rouge area, is seeing the builds. You take these classics from 30, 40, 50 years ago, and you just put your splash of this, that, and the third. Colors change, the trimming, the type of wheels. People take pride in things like that, and I think it's good for our city, it's good for the community that you can see so many different things, and all in all, it just brings people together, you know, just getting in. It's nothing like getting into that classic muscle car and just hearing it start up. It just does something. Follow us on Instagram at Project 70805 or Capital City Car Show BR. That's both Instagram platforms. You click the link in the bio and it takes you directly to both websites. This is an annual event. Project 70805 does things all throughout the year. So, like I said, community givebacks, education, and community empowerment in North Baton Rouge.
We here at the East Baton Rouge Parish Library have some of the best facilities of any library system in the country. We make our facilities available to help organizations like this connect to the larger community. It's a lot of fun to host events like this, and we can also use this event to promote the library's terrific resources for Sunday mechanics with our digital platforms from Chilton's, All Data, and more. Stay right there. You're watching the Library Roadshow.
Staying informed is good for us all. That's why we provide free access to the New York Times and other national newspapers online. Get a library card. Get informed at ebrpl.com/newspapers.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You're watching the October edition of the Library Roadshow, a production of your East Baton Rouge Parish Library System. The Special Collections Department here at the Main Library on Goodwood hosts a lunchtime program every month. It's an opportunity for library patrons to enjoy their lunch break while meeting and learning from a local author or expert researcher.
My name is Emily Ford. I am a cemetery preservationist and a monumental mason. Today I am presenting on cemetery history and how people's tombs are set in the larger context of Baton Rouge cemetery history. I started out in cemetery preservation as a volunteer, like a lot of people start out, and I kept pursuing it and learning more until I realized that I could go to grad school for a thing like this. I worked for a master mason and got my master's degree in historic preservation. Cemeteries play a crucial role in not only just general South Louisiana history, but individual city history. So today I'm presenting on Baton Rouge, which is distinctly different from New Orleans, so much so that there's whole, like starting in like the mid 18th century, they diverge from one another. Every single cemetery is itself an irreplaceable and not transferable part of any one community in South Louisiana. It is so important to preserve trade, which is something that is fortunately much more of a conversation than we've had in the past. It's becoming more and more of a conversation. In the past century, the materials that have become available have made it very easy for us to take for granted just how difficult it is to work in like really rudimentary materials like stone, brick, wood. We talk about very modern buildings being sort of flat concrete. If we don't preserve historic trade, especially as it is represented in New Orleans cemeteries, then we can't preserve the actual remnants, the actual material that is in cemeteries. I can't fix something if I don't know how it was made in the first place. Cemeteries are meant to be forever. And that is our job as preservationists and also just as people, to preserve cemeteries as they were. My work in New Orleans cemeteries has led me to writing about New Orleans cemeteries because I think a lot of the time we have a tendency, or even South Louisiana cemeteries in general, I think a lot of the time we sort of stay on the surface of things, right? We are like, oh, above ground tombs, and that's kind of where we stop, right? We stop at like the 15-minute tour version of cemeteries, which is, it's really leaving so much out. It's really a worthwhile pursuit that has led me to writing a lot about these very minute topics. I love the East Baton Rouge Library. This space is amazing. This is my second time getting to speak here. I not only love the space, but I also love the community. I've worked with the St. Joseph Catholic Cemetery Board of Trustees. I've worked with some of the folks from Highland Cemetery. Baton Rouge actually has really remarkable community support for its cemeteries. So I know when I come here, especially in this really lovely space, I'm not only going to get to talk about something that I really love to talk about, but I'm going to get to engage with the people who have come to see me talk, and I'm going to get to learn from them too.
Programs like this are great. They give folks like you the chance to meet local authors and experts and look behind the curtain on their inspiration and process. This month, we'll take it a bit further with the library's own genealogist, David Latch, when he speaks on the forgotten cemeteries of Baton Rouge. That's part of our monthly Baton Rouge Room lecture series, scheduled for Wednesday, October 14th. And now for today's contest, visit the library's Facebook page at facebook.com/EBRPL. Have any cool epitaphs or cemetery photos you'd like to share? That's facebook.com/EBRPL. And while you're there, enjoy. We're not your grandfather's library anymore. What's coming up on the Library Roadshow in November? Well, besides the library's tax selection on November 15th, we've got International Game Day and GIS Day ready to go. Thanks so much for joining us on the Library Roadshow, and remember, your East Baton Rouge Parish Library is open 7 days a week at each and every one of 15 branches. Plus 24/7 on the web. Check us out at ebrpl.com.